I don't even like. I don't know. The Canucks just beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-2 in a terrible game from the Canucks. They were super lucky to come out with the 2 points here. Man, this team. Man, where do I even like start? So they just came off of a road trip, in which they went 4-1-1. They lost to the Pittsburgh Penguins in a game that they allowed like 4 goals in the first period, or 3 goals, whatever the hell it was. And then you lose to Minnesota in overtime, which is all right. You know, Minnesota's probably the best team in the league so far, so that's okay. But then you get 3 days off, 4 days off, coming back to Vancouver, and your first opponent is the Columbus Blue Jackets. And mind you, they're on a second half of a back to back. They just lost to the Edmonton Oilers last night 6-3, I believe the score was. And so if you're the Canucks, it's simple. You come off to a good start, a team that's tired, and a team in Columbus who aren't great, if we're being honest, but yeah, it was just terrible from the first like period essentially. So yeah, the first thing that pretty much happened in the game is that Columbus scored. Um, and so using the NHL's visualizer, as you can see, the puck gets shot into the Canucks end, and Desharnais is going to beat Cole Sillinger to this puck. But then the problem is that the puck bounces over Desharnais' stick. And if you look at number 26 here, Eric Brandstrom, he ends up going to the net and he collides with number 22, being Olivier, who ends up scoring. On this play, it gets shot back around, and Cole Sillinger, with a great play, feeds it back in front of the net. But as you can see here, Brandstrom moves to the front. For no reason, Brandstrom moves to the front of the net, and Olivier is wide open. Kevin Lankinen has no chance on this, and it's an easy goal. So at this point, 10 minutes have gone in the game, and the Canucks only have 2 shots on target. And the Columbus Blue Jackets goaltenders have a combined like average of a 875 save percentage. And you only have 2 shots in the first 10 minutes. Like, that should have been the number one thing, preparing for this game, is you have a team that can't get a save right now, and you only have 2 shots in the first 10 minutes. Up until this point, we would later go on to have 0 shots in the last 10 minutes. So the game, it gets to 4-on-4 here, and Carson Soucy, being the only defenseman back for the Canucks here on this play, and Quinn Hughes is up high, which is something that he does, but he likes to circle back. And so if we play this, so as you can see, Hughes circles back. Soucy's got his man, Adam Fantilli here. The puck swings out wide to, I believe that's Ivan Provorov, and immediately Damon Severson sees this as an opportunity to just make a beeline to the Canucks zone. And so Hughes is picking up Provorov here, and Severson catches Brock Besser turning his back, and so he just makes a beeline and just out skates Besser essentially. And then from here, it was a bit of a knuckler, but Soucy again was following Fantilli up until that point, and then he decided to come over, but at that point it was too late, and Severson just whacks this one in. So that was just a poor play. It was 4-on-4, especially in the first period. The wingers were not helping the defense at all, not only in transition, but when the Columbus Blue Jackets were like hemming them into their zone, and they were passing the puck to the point, and they were like interchanging, something that the Canucks do a lot when Hughes is out there. The wingers weren't really switching, they weren't really communicating, and so it just allowed the Columbus Blue Jackets to just have so much offensive zone pressure. So that was that. So at this point, it's 2-0. 12 minutes in, the Canucks have 2 shots, and it's not looking good. It's not looking good at this point. If it wasn't for Kevin Lankinen for the rest of the period, this Canucks team would have been down 4 or 5-0 heading into the second period. So yeah, Kevin Lankinen, probably the Canucks' best player tonight. Yeah, and the only real positive I could say for the Canucks in that first period was the play of Kevin Lankinen to keep them in this game, as well as, I want to say, as well as the effort from Elias Pettersson. I feel like he was the only one that was going to create any sort of opportunity for the Canucks. But yeah, it was Pettersson and Lankinen were the only positives from the Canucks for the first period. The second period is underway, and the Canucks came off to a good start for the first, like, I think it was 30 seconds or something. I don't know. I don't have the exact time of when the penalty was taken, but it was pretty fast that Pedersen got called against Ivan Provorov, who looks like dislocated his thumb on the play. So hopefully he's okay. He didn't return to this game. Pedersen was flying out the gates again, the only player really doing anything, the Canucks' best player, alongside of Kevin Lankinen to start that second period, and he takes a penalty. The Columbus Blue Jackets then went on the power play. They didn't really do too much. The Canucks' penalty kill was pretty solid, and right after the penalty was killed, Pedersen had a chance with, I believe Connor Garland was on the ice, and nothing came out of it, but we had a good couple shifts there in the offensive zone. So then we have an offensive zone draw here, and Pedersen wins the puck back to Besser, who gets it to Desharnais across to Quinn Hughes, who just goes around the net beautifully here and finds Besser for a one-timer. And the key part about this goal wasn't just Hughes going around the net, attracting the defense of the Columbus Blue Jackets. It was actually the point in which Besser took the shot. I'm going to try and pause it here. Hughes makes the pass, and look how many bodies were in front of Elvis Merzlikins here. And Besser, as he shoots, it's literally maybe 17, but you got two bodies in front of Elvis, and you got two guys to his three guys to his right actually. And the shot, it just makes its way in the net, and the Canucks have life. They use that momentum really well off of the penalty kill. But then after that, it pretty much went back to the same story as the first period, where the Canucks really didn't do anything. It seemed like all of the momentum that they built up to this point just went away. Like, they had a good first, like, 5 minutes, 5-ish minutes to the period, and after the goal, just went away. Columbus went back to putting the pressure on. Kevin Lankinen had to make a huge save once again. And then there was this stupid play where there could have been a call, I think, on the Columbus Blue Jackets the Canucks weren't happy about. And then as the Canucks are breaking the puck out, Desharnais just steps into his guy, and it's interference. I believe Connor Garland was breaking the puck out, and literally Desharnais just comes across his guy, and just takes a stupid penalty. Now, luckily for the Vancouver Canucks, their penalty kill on that specific power play was great at keeping everything on the outside. There was a play where Fantilli tried to play the puck into the slot, and luckily for the Canucks, they were able to, like, just smother the middle of the ice essentially. Kevin Lankinen had to made maybe like one or two saves on that power play, and then as the power play expires, Desharnais sent through on goal, and it was funny actually. So he ends up getting saved by Elvis Merzlikins pretty comfortably, and on the bench he was kind of shaking his head. It's like, oh, I should have done better. And it's just one of those things where it's like, you have one career NHL goal. I think that speaks for itself, but it's all right. But at this point, like, they kill the penalty, but Columbus just go back to doing what they're doing best in this game, and that's literally just outskating the Canucks. Like, they're just outworking them in the offensive zone. The Canucks can't get the puck out. We can't even string like two passes to break the puck out, and Columbus are just making chance after chance after chance. But luckily for the Canucks, Kevin Lankinen was on it, and Columbus didn't end up scoring. So it was 4-on-4 at one point, and Quinn Hughes was taking the puck into the Columbus zone, and he ends up drawing a penalty on Zach Rowinski. And so the Canucks had a 4-on-3 power play that did nothing. So that was great. And after that, it was the Elvis show from then on. Like I said, the Canucks did not deserve to win this game. This was the Columbus Blue Jackets game, I would say 9 times out of 10. But now we're going to take a look at the Kiefer Sherwood tying goal. Columbus fans, you might want to look away. So as you can see here, the puck gets shot, and it just rings all the way down the ice, and it's a 2-on-1 opportunity here for the Canucks. But it's pretty clear that Zach Werenski is going to get this puck. Like, he's literally 4 feet, 5 feet in front of Teddy Bluger. He's a left-handed defenseman. He can just play this puck up the boards. And then you see this little guy, Elvis Merzlikins, come out of the goal again, and Bluger and Sherwood just stop in their tracks, and they're like, okay, let's see what happens. And Elvis shoots it into Bluger, And Bluger had an empty net to shoot at, but he couldn't kind of corral the puck. So the first thing he does is find Kiefer Sherwood, and Sherwood just blasts it home. And just like that, the Canucks have somehow tied this game. They had no business up until this point to be in this game at all. And so at this point, the third period starts, and funnily enough, it's the Canucks' best period of the game, and it's Elvis Merzlikins' best period of the game, which is it's kind of funny how that works. Quinn Hughes starts by doing his thing. He dancing on the blue line, breaks his man's ankles and creates a lane for himself. He takes a shot and it rips it off the bar. So that was super unfortunate, but now you could kind of see the Canucks playing the way that they usually are playing. But it was just it took 2 periods to get here, and Elvis Merzlikins' mistake to put themselves in a position to win this game. Speaking of doing what they do best, Connor Garland behind the net, just outworking his opponent essentially, wins his one-on-one battle and plays the puck in front of Pius Suter, who shoots, and literally it squeaks by Elvis, and it just like trickles into the net. And somehow, 2 minutes into the third period of this hockey game, the Canucks were winning 3-2. Somehow, some way, I don't know how they did it. It's just one of those things. It's just they didn't deserve it, but at the same time, the best teams, they figure out a way to win even when they're not at their best. It was just a weird wave of emotions this entire game. They were like so bad for so long, and then out of nowhere they're just like, you know what, we're gonna play good and we're gonna win. So yeah, at that point it was 3-2. And to just show the actual goal going in, because I forgot to do that while I was commentating, the puck gets to Susie here, and Connor Garland pinches down low. He out muscles his man, and he plays it in front of Suter. He shoots, and as you can see, it just like barely goes into the net. Merzlikins, like I said, it was his best period because the Canucks were generating opportunities finally, and so he actually had to make saves. That one, and especially the second goal for the Canucks, we want him to have it back. So it was pretty much game over at this point. The Canucks are up 3-2. Columbus didn't really generate too many grade A chances. They were kind of just like, normal chances, and Kevin Lankinen, it was pretty comfortable for the rest of the game. Again, it just feels so undeserved. Like, as a fan watching, I was like, you get off to a slow start again. You allow the first goal again. It's almost like you learn nothing over that road trip where you go 4-1-1, but then you come home to Columbus and you almost throw the game away in the first period. So going through the range of emotions here, but that's what it means to be a Canucks fan, I guess. And so right after this goal, the Canucks again are applying the pressure, and I don't know why we didn't see this too often. I think it's something with JT Miller being out, but having Pettersson, DeBrusk, Besser, and Quinn Hughes all on the ice at the same time, it's very rare that it happens, but when it does happen, it literally transforms their game. Like, there was a play right after this 3-2 goal where Hughes played it down low to DeBrusk. DeBrusk beats his man, sauces it in front of Besser, and he was absolutely robbed by Elvis Merzlikins. But it's just one of those things where you need your best players to be at their best. Yeah, that's the one. And tonight for the Canucks, like, I would say the best players: Kevin Lankinen, Elias Pettersson, Jake DeBrusk, Brock Besser, and of course Quinn Hughes. When those guys are all on, as you can see, there's not much you can do. Even on games where you feel like you dominated, you end up losing 5-2 just because those guys are on it, offense, defense. And continuing that trend, Sean Monahan took a weird penalty. Quinn Hughes was being slashed all game and there was no calls. And then Hughes had the puck and Monahan, like, one hand chopped his stick on Hughes' stick, and Hughes lost the puck and they called that a slash. So I don't know. I thought it was weak. And immediately the Canucks go to work on that power play. They don't waste any time. Who was it? It was I don't remember the sequence, but all I know is it ended up getting across the ice to Jake DeBrusk, who dangles Elvis Merzlikins, has an empty net, sets up Elias Pettersson, and he just can't put it away. And it was one of those things. It's like so unfortunate. I'm waiting for Pettersson to have like one of those 2 goals, 2 assist nights, 2 goals, 1 assist, 1 goal, 2 assists, something like that. And he deserved a goal tonight. He really did, because he was creating so much offensively. He was doing his defensive duties. It was one of those two-way games from Pettersson where it's like, okay, I get it now. Like, I understand why he's being paid this much. I get it why he's the best forward on this team on nights when JT Miller's not on it. But you know what I mean? So literally right after Pettersson misses that golden opportunity, the next play after the puck is dropped, Jake DeBrusk ends up scoring, and the Canucks in this game finally got a bounce that went their way. there were so many times where it went off like Myers' skate into the slot. People were falling, pucks were bouncing over people's sticks. It was just like, when will a bounce go our way? And it was finally on this goal. So as you can see, Connor Garland around to Brock Besser, to Quentin Hughes, back to Besser, and Hughes gets into a one-timer opportunity. He takes a shot, and his stick breaks on the play. The puck slows down like astronomically to the point where it just falls into the path of Jake DeBrusk, who just has to like hook it through Elvis Merzlikins' legs, and just like that, it was 4-2. And after that, honestly, that was pretty much it. Pew Suter ends up scoring an empty netter, and so the Canucks end up winning this game 5-2. And overall thoughts, well, one, Columbus deserved to win this game, plain and simple. They were the better team. They scored their goals early. They competed all night. They were skating from start to finish, and you would never believe that this team was on the second half of a back-to-back. For the Canucks, Thatcher Demko was sitting on the bench. I would say keep him on the bench. Just wait it out. Wait for a good opponent. I don't know who that would be because they got a tough schedule coming up. Keep him on the bench because Kevin Lankinen, that brother, man, last year it was Shilovs in the playoffs. This year it's Kevin Lankinen. There was a graphic. He's like top 5 in the NHL for wins. He's got like 10 on the road. He's got 3 at home. I don't know how they're doing it. They're getting, I wouldn't say Vesna type goaltending, but you're getting pretty damn good goaltending from Kevin Lankinen. So I would ride that until you're like 1000% sure that Demko is going to be okay. And yeah, like I said, the Canucks' best players were their best players. Pedersen offensively was generating so much. Defensively, he was there when his team needed it. Jake DeBrusk, he was a really good like glue guy, and he also got his goal on the power play, but he was really good at just making that line work between him, Pedersen, Besser. And Besser getting his goal, first goal in a while, I think, for Brock Besser. I believe. I don't think he scored in, I don't know. I work a lot of these Canucks games, so like I can't really watch all the games, and I forget a lot of things easily. But see, for me, I don't think Besser scored in a while, and it was nice to see him get one. I should have put money on that. That was something I had thought of, but I was like, nah. Knowing me, I'm not gonna win. But anyways, and Quinn Hughes, I thought defensively was decent today. He did his thing, but offensively, he was leading the charge as well. If I had to point out a negative for the Canucks for this game, other than the glaring, terrible first period, subpar second period, I would say the pairing of Brandstrom and Desharnais really struggled tonight. Those two, like the things that you would say that they were good at, they did not do good today. Brandstrom couldn't make a pass today. He lost his man in front for the first goal. Desharnais was taking penalties and doing stupid things. It was just that line. It was bad. And then I believe they got split up towards the end of the game, and it was good because you could really notice it out there. Niels Hoglander, this guy, I don't know if he was too caught up with Taylor Swift in town or what was going on, but he barely played. When he did play, he wasn't great. He took a stupid penalty in the offensive zone right after the Canucks scored. And for me now with him, like I love him as a player. I love him on the Canucks, but it looks like at this point it's not gonna work out for him in Vancouver. Like he's on the fourth line. He's barely playing. He's a young guy. He's in trade talks with potentially bringing in Marcus Pedersen from Pittsburgh. I don't know if I don't know what to do with him. Like there was a viral moment on X or Twitter today. It was actually on the live broadcast where Talkit was just like staring at him. It was so funny. Yeah, I don't know what to do with Hoglander at this point. It seems more of a it's like a matter of when and not if anymore, which it sucks. Like he's a young player who's drafted here. He grew up here professionally. He grew up here. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. And to talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets, they were excellent. I thought they had a really good game. You know, from forward lines 1 to 4, deep pairings 1 to 3. They had to play without Provorov, who dislocated his thumb from basically for the last 2 periods of the game. I thought they did really well. It was just came down to those moments. Why is Elvis Merzlikins coming out of this net like he's Manuel Neuer? Like, yeah, I don't know. Elvis, he was. It's just one of those things again. Like I previously mentioned, they have an 875 save percentage combined between Elvis and Tarasov. Tarasov, I don't know his name. The Columbus backup, but basically the two goaltenders have an average of 875 save percentage. It's not good enough. That's not NHL goaltending right now. And tonight was one of those nights. You needed a save. You needed a save on the Pew Suter goal. You needed him to stay in his net on the Sherwood tire. Yeah, Elvis Merzlikins bad. The Columbus Blue Jackets good. Any other individual players? Oh, Ken Johnson. What a freaking player. Ken Johnson was, I would say, Columbus' best forward all night. Maybe their best player. Yeah, I'd say Ken Johnson was their best player tonight. What a player. He needs, like, I knew there was like some weird, he was being sent down, he's being called back up. That's an NHL player, and that's a good NHL player. So the Columbus Blue Jackets have something good there with Ken Johnson. Adam Fantilli, I didn't really notice throughout the game, but he had his moments where he would just keep the puck on a string and just dangle through like three guys. But unfortunately, nothing would come out of that. But in moments, it seemed like he was just going to create something out of nothing. But yeah, overall, Columbus had a great game against the Canucks, and you just gotta, regroup. They got the Winnipeg Jets on Sunday, so it doesn't get any easier for them. And for the Canucks, you have the Tampa Bay Lightning on Sunday. It's an afternoon game. You got to get up for it. You can't have this performance, this effort that you had tonight against Columbus, against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Plain and simple. And you think it gets easier? Nope. We got the Florida Panthers. We got the Boston Bruins. I believe there's a game between Tampa and Florida, though. Ah, yes. So you have, like I said, you have Tampa. You got to get up for that game. It's a 1 o'clock start. Then you got the St. Louis Blues. Then you got the Florida Panthers, and then you got the Boston Bruins. So there's so much room for improvement with this team still. I don't know where this team is really headed. Are they going to be a good team? Are they going to be, well, they're going to be a playoff team. I know that much. The Canucks are going to be a playoff team this year. How far they go, though, with efforts like that tonight, you can take it two ways. The performance was bad, you got bailed out, you end up winning the game. Or you find a way to win when you're not at your best. And that's probably the best mindset to have is the best teams, they find a way to win when they're not at their best. And that was the Canucks tonight. All right, I think I'm done.